I live in a country that everyone wants to believe is a meritocracy. We want to think that everyone earns what they have. I guess if it makes you feel better, keep telling yourself that. It doesn't work for me anymore. I know my family gives away millions of dollars each year to charity, but how does that exactly level the playing field? I mean, what did I do to earn the kind of money I'll own at midnight tonight? All I did was inherit it.
Well, I think no matter what I hear about my parents, about my family, no matter what I read, the fact is that I'm absolutely, proud to be a Trump. And I'm, proud of my family name, and I'm proud of everything they've done and ever accomplished. My grandfather, somebody was telling me, had built more housing units than anyone else has ever done in New York. And he was just in the other boroughs. So to my dad, it was sort of, he wanted to go in the direction of his father. He just always loved Manhattan, so he wanted to build here. There's some sort of pride in the fact that people would even take an interest in me just because I'm a part of them. So, for a while I was worried that, for my whole life I've sort of be under my parents' shadow, but it's not a bad shadow to be under, I guess. It's okay. There were times as I grew older that I became more conscious of it by the way people treated me because I had money. It wasn't even my money, I was a little kid. It was people, I'd noticed people treating me differently because my parents had money. So that even, one more step removed. So I never really understood that because I couldn't give them my parents' money. So I didn't really think there was a reason to treat me in a different way. But I think that's why in friends that I have now, the major quality I look for is sincerity. Because I think there is a lot of that. And I didn't realize it when I was younger because I was quite sheltered. But now I see it, so. Okay, this is a room that nobody's probably walked into for the past 10 plus years. It's a little time capsule, if you notice by the Madonna clock and my interesting attempt at color painting, the homage to Poison and Motley Crue, the 90210 posters, little, I think they were trading cards that were stickers, and the Bon Jovi sort of wall. This was my bed. It's a little small for me now. Probably why I don't stay in here anymore, but yeah.
And what floor are we on?
We are on the 68th floor. Not a bad view to wake up to. I remember once my father and I were walking down Fifth Avenue, and there was a homeless person sitting right outside of Trump Tower. And I think I was probably maybe 9, 10, something like this. It was around the same time as the divorce. And I remember my father pointing to him and saying, that guy has $8 billion more than me, because he was in such extreme debt at that point, And me thinking, what are you talking about? He was sitting outside of Trump Tower, and I'm looking and I'm going, and I didn't understand, and I think I just thought about it maybe like a year or two ago, and I found it interesting. It makes me all the more proud of my parents that they got through that. I was going to school one day, and I saw in one of the news boxes a huge picture of both my parents, and there was a rip down the center of the picture. And this is before I had officially been told that they were getting divorced. And I came out of school that day, and there was a swarm of photographers and paparazzi and all these things waiting to ask me questions. And I mean, I wanted to stay in school because I wanted to have a normal day and do all this, but it makes it that much more difficult to deal with your own personal emotions and to think about, your family and your brothers and what they're going through, knowing that you're going to walk out of the building and there's going to be a bunch of people running after you asking you difficult questions. I remember once I was on a job in Australia, and this guy just walks up to me. I was at some, after celebrating party. It was a fashion shows there. And this man walks up to me who I'd never met and says, what does it feel like to be wealthy? And I was like, excuse me? And he goes, what does it feel like to never have felt any pain? And that really upset me, not because I was upset for myself, but because I was upset for him. Like, I was bothered by the fact that he could be so ignorant. And, like, that there are people out there who could, like, say such a blanketed thing and just be so downright stupid and just, you know, not use the brain that they have. And that's what bothered me, not the fact that he could make, like, you know, not the fact that anything he said really, you know, wounded me deep down, just the fact that there really are people out there who think like that. You know, that think that with money comes happiness. Rather than getting Barbie dolls, I used to get upset. I always wanted Legos or like erector sets or something like this. So I love like looking at the New York skyline and being able to figure out like what I'm going to add to that, and you know, what patch of like sky, you know, maybe one of my buildings will be in. So I've basically always wanted to go to real estate development. It's in the blood, I guess.
I was always told that the American dream is about getting a bigger and better life than your parents had. But that dream was accomplished by my great-grandfather. So I live outside the American dream, and now it's my job to build a meaningful life apart from all this privilege I've inherited. I've learned that part of coming of age is finding something that's your own, and not your family's legacy. I've had the benefit of being rich all my life, and I'll never want for material things. But after working on this movie, I've discovered that what you inherit may not be as valuable as what you earn. And although I still haven't found all the answers, at least now I know how important it is to ask the questions.